In elementary school, Carson started to have some complications with the shunt. He was in first grade, I believe, when it started, and went into the hospital. Over the course of the next few years, he had 13 surgeries with the VP shunt, replacing it. It was clogged with brain that God had given him, that they said would never develop, so the brain clogged the shunt. Shunt malfunctioned because it's hardware in the body, so between the miracle of his brain healing and the malfunction of the shunt, he had 11 to 13 surgeries between first grade and fifth grade. And with that came some more learning challenges. Missing school for an enormous amount of time, being in the hospital for weeks at a time, traveling out of town to go into the hospital. And the learning challenges were increasing for us. And we got all that wrapped up, and he was doing good and healthy and back on track with the shunt, but it had taken its toll on his school life. And we were introduced to Learning RX through a great friend, Donisa Walker from church. And she explained to us what Learning RX had to offer, brought Karsten in for an evaluation, showed us the areas that Learning RX's training program would benefit him, and we believed that it was an answer to prayer, that the Lord had brought several things into our life, into Karsten's life to benefit him, and this was absolutely going to be one of them. And very excited about the opportunity to help him, and got started with the program. Amazing trainers, amazing staff, loved coming. It was always a very positive experience. Had a lot of fun, worked hard, and progressed beautifully. I saw some changes in him. He did check out his first book ever during his training from the library for fun, just to read for fun. And he'd never been a for fun reader, so that was very exciting. I loved that. That was a huge accomplishment and goal. And so I went through training, saw things changing in his life, saw his confidence level increasing. I think that feeling like he was getting back on track, he was getting sharper, he felt smarter, he felt more confident, it was coming out in other areas in his life, led into him being into some drama and things at church where he became a leader and very gifted with human video skills and things that before he'd been a little too introverted to tackle. I saw his self-confidence level climb and become quite a leader in that area, and just his memory's very sharp. Took some driver's ed classes, and we weren't able to go get his permit immediately upon graduation. There was a delay between the classes and getting his permit, and he passed with flying colors. So I credit the memory and the retention of what he learned in driver's ed between the space of time between the classes and getting the permit. I credit that to the strong memory skills he developed with Learning RX. And developed an incredible relationship with his trainer, Leon, that he still has today. A wonderful relationship. The Lord absolutely put Leon in our life for a purpose. Donnie says an answer to prayer. God's used Learning RX in a lot of ways in our life. Blessed us as a family, blessed Karsten. And he's going to be in the ministry full-time soon. He's approaching the end of high school. And the skills he's developed because of the training he's received with Learning RX are going to affect him, benefit him for the rest of his life. He's recently been training to go to the Paralympic tryouts, and actually just went to the Paralympic tryouts. He does have mild cerebral palsy still. It's a struggle that he chooses to say is on paper. He doesn't receive it in his life. He's a very hard worker, very overcomer-minded personality, very strong athletically. A little bit weak on his left side because of the cerebral palsy, but very determined. We're going to Arizona shortly for the National Junior Disability Championships, and he holds several national records right now for speed, for running, throwing the shot put and the discus and the long jump and javelin and some other things, but his main gifts are running. And this is going to lead to a world championship in France and Rio de Janeiro 2016 for Paralympics. And I'm watching all these skills and all these things blossom in my son as a result of his confidence soaring and just believing that God has so much out there for him and being willing to go get it and not be intimidated or feel like he's lesser than other children, other teens, because he was born with a medical condition and he's had challenges all of his life, physical and learning challenges, just with the shunt and the surgeries and the cerebral palsy and the learning challenges that came along with being born with a traumatic brain injury. To this day, the only part of his brain that's still affected from his birth condition is missing right frontal lobe. All of the brain's there. Other than that, we don't see any effects from that because he's so beautifully well-rounded and he's such a miracle. But we're very grateful, very, very thankful that God brought Learning RX, Donisa, Leon, and all of the staff into our life.
Thank you.